Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Arrow Season 5. So yesterday, from the day I am actually uploading this video, Arrow began its filming for episode 23 of Season 5, otherwise known as the season finale. Now, as you should know by now, Black Siren, aka Earth 2 Laurel Lance, has already been announced as being in both episodes 22 and 23 of this season, as well as being a series regular throughout Season 6 as well, so she is going to be around for a while, and they will probably set up her Season 6 involvement towards the conclusion of this season. But as you should be able to tell from the title, Black Siren is now not the only returning character for this season's finale. On the first day of filming for the finale, it was announced over social media, like Twitter in particular, by both Stephen Amell and the executive producer of Arrow, Mark Guggenheim, that Deathstroke would be back for the finale. But unlike the last two appearances of the character in seasons 4 and this season during the crossover, he will actually be played by Manu Bennett, who portrayed the Slade Wilson Deathstroke character throughout seasons 1 to 3. This is actually amazing news to finally have confirmed, as even though they were heavily hinting at Manu coming back to the role the other week, seeing Deathstroke appear over the past two seasons without Manu's voice has been pretty disappointing, to say the least. For those wondering why they announced the return of Deathstroke in the finale along with the added bonus that Manu would be reprising the role, you could argue it's a spoiler, but as I said, yesterday was the commencement of the season finale's filming, which of course means that the general public would be able to get photos of everyone filming, obviously that including Deathstroke. And there is actually some other characters, but we're not going to mention them now. So the CW and the showrunners got the leg up and announced the return first before filming, so it wasn't seen as leaked information or leaked photos or anything like that. They did the same thing with Kid Flash before the season started. They released that promo image of him, and then the day after that they were filming in public and the pictures of him and the rival hit the internet. So the CW and the Flash team got the first reveal of Kid Flash. And they also did the same with Black Siren earlier this month, I guess, early this month, when they announced that Katie Cassidy would be back as Black Siren before she started filming scenes for episode 22, which, as I said, is the first episode she's back for at the end of this season. Now, Manu did tweet this out, which made a lot of people freak out, thinking that he wasn't coming back. But he clearly says 4, not 2. So what is meant by this is that Deathstroke won't be going after Oliver Queen as his primary target come the finale. So he's going after someone else. I think you should all be able to guess who that could be. So everyone just calm down. He is coming back. Manu just likes to mess with people on social media. You should know that if you've been following him for a while. He likes to tease when it comes to Deathstroke, sorry. One question I know a lot of people might have is whether this will be the last appearance of Deathstroke in the Arrowverse. My answer to that is probably, but not definitely. The fact that the DCEU properties that wanted to use Deathstroke were delayed, it would have most likely given the CW the ability to bring Manu back, as he wasn't on contract for the character anymore. So if you're wondering why Manu didn't play Deathstroke when, those season 4 and season 5 episodes, it's because he was actually taken off his contract to reprise the role of that character like he did in season 3. So obviously in this case with the finale, they've got him back on a 1-episode contract, or maybe they've signed him on a new contract if he was to appear in future episodes in future seasons. But I do feel they may use this episode to give the character a proper farewell or departure from the show. Compared to the mess of that season 3 episode when Ollie and Thea go back to Leanne Yu and the Deathstroke or Slade Wilson character is very much disrespected. Now, I'm not saying he's going to die. I'd actually be very, very surprised if that, were to happen. But I feel they will end his appearance in this finale in a way that if he wasn't to appear ever again on the show or the universe as a whole, we the fans would be pleased with how the character was last used in the show. If Manu Bennett's last appearance as Slade Wilson or Deathstroke was that season 3 episode, yeah, you have the right to be quite annoyed, but I think if they do it right at the end of season 5, it's a really cool Deathstroke portion of the episode, the ones that he's involved in at least, then I think we can be pretty happy with it. And then they could keep the door open if, he ever was to appear in season 6, or if Arrow gets season 7 and onwards, I guess. In regards to his role and what he will be doing in the finale, I will do another video on that over the next 2 to 3 days, as there are other characters, as I hinted before, that are returning as well, which will all be in that video, so be out and look for that. It needs to be its own separate video, so hopefully you understand why I'm doing that. The second part of this video, which has gained a lot more curiosity, is the word I guess, has been whether Roy Harper, aka Arsenal, would be returning at any point in the finale. Now I bring this up as earlier this season Colton Haynes, who played Roy Harper or Arsenal, did suggest that he could be back on Arrow later this season, and he would love to be if, you know, things lined up correctly. And by that he meant if like the episode or episodes he was wanted in weren't at the same time as something he had already planned, whether that be like another show, a movie, or like a business related plan thing, because he has his own fashion thing. Colton Haynes actually posted on his Snapchat that he was on a plane. He didn't say where he was going, and he didn't like post on Snapchat after that post where he was on the plane, which does suggest he was heading somewhere where he couldn't reveal the destination. That was, well, last night from when you're watching this video, so around like a couple of hours after they were actually filming those scenes with Deathstroke. In regards to what Roy Harper would be doing or adding to the finale, he could be helping Oliver and whoever else is involved in taking down Prometheus, and whoever may, you know, be involved or teamed up with him. But one reason to have Roy in the finale, and I think would be a really great moment, would be if he was to show up at some point for 5 minutes or so and actually be there to go away with Thea. Now he could be in the episode for more, but I think if they were gonna, this would be the last scene with Roy in the episode if he was gonna come back. This would be a really good moment if this was to happen. And I say him, you know, coming to take Thea away, as Willa Holland, who plays Thea, has publicly stated that she hasn't really liked the direction her character has taken over the past season. They have reduced the amount of episodes she was in this season. If you have been watching, you would know how random Thea's like comings and goings have been. So I do think it would be a great ending to her story arc if she was to go away from Star City and be with Roy. Thea has been trying to get her life back to normal, you know, especially this season, which she sort of has, but I don't think you can really have a normal life living in Star City, especially when you're related to the vigilante of Star City and your inner circle is really those vigilantes working with the Green Arrow. I guess one other thing is that Willa Holland, as I said, who plays Thea, was on a plane around the same time as Colton Haynes. They weren't on the same plane, I highly doubt that, or maybe they were and they were trying to avoid being in the same photo. That would be interesting, but they were both on planes around the same time, so they could have both been flying to Vancouver to film for Arrow, which I think makes sense, because it would be really weird if Thea wasn't in the finale, because fair enough if she's not been in the majority of the episodes this season, but you would expect her to be in the finale, like, come on. So I think she's flying up to Vancouver, and I think it'd be really cool if Colton Haynes was flying up there as well. And I think you could end both characters there. I know a lot of people do want to see Roy come back, so do I, but I think we'd be happy if that was the tying off of those two characters, that Roy and Thea went away to live their own lives away from Star City and be together. And you never know, like in Season 6, they could come back for an episode like we saw with Roy in Season 4, and they could help the team out, or just could be visiting, who knows what they would do. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section down below, are you excited to see Deathstroke back with Manu Bennett playing Deathstroke? Because even though Deathstroke's been back in Seasons 4 and 5, the Season 4 one was a bit, okay, that was pretty crap. But the Season 5 one was okay in the crossover, but nothing too amazing. So actually having Deathstroke back for a proper episode with Manu Bennett in the role is going to be mental. And what do you think about Roy coming back? Would you like to see Roy come back in his Arsenal year and actually kick some ass with Team Arrow? Or do you think my idea with Roy coming back for a portion of the episode to sort of end Thea's arc on the show and them going away, and then Season 6 doesn't have Thea in it, but they could come back, I guess, if they wanted to? Just let me know all of your opinions in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.